Good morning, class 12 students. So, this is your subject physics, chapter number 11, that is dual nature of matter and radiation. And in this lecture, I'll be discussing the NCERT solutions of some questions. Okay, so let us begin with the first question. Okay, so most of the questions of this chapter are formula based questions. So I'll be taking first of all question number 18. So the question number 18 says, show that the wavelength of electromagnetic radiation is equal to de Broglie wavelength of its quantum, that is photon. Okay, so now you know the de Broglie wavelength is given by lambda is equals to h upon p. So we have to prove the lambda for electromagnetic radiation is also this. Okay. So for that, first of all, we have to use a formula for the momentum of an electromagnetic wave, which is given by h nu by c, where p is your momentum, h is Planck's constant, nu is wave frequency, and c is the speed of light. So this formula is for the momentum of an electromagnetic wave. Now, as you know, nu is given by c by lambda. So just putting that value here, c by nu will be 1 by lambda. So p will be h by lambda, or you can say lambda will be h by p. So as you can see here, this wavelength is same as that of de Broglie wavelength. Next is question number 21. In that question you have two parts. So the first part of the question says, a monoenergetic electron beam with an electron speed of 5.20 10 to the power meter per second is subjected to a magnetic field of 1.3 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla, normal to the beam velocity. That is, this is the velocity and this is the magnetic field, and these two are perpendicular to each other. Now the question asks, what is the radius of the circle traced by the beam given E by M ratio for the electron is equal to 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kilogram. Okay, so all these factors are given in question. First of all, you have to calculate the radius of circular orbit. So as you know, whenever a particle is moving in your magnetic field, it undergoes a circular. So therefore, first of all, we will be calculating the force of electromagnetic force. That will be QVB sine theta. Because V and B are at normal to each other, it is given in question. So that will become QVB. And because we are talking about electron, so Q can be written as EVB. Okay, so as I told you, when the particle is moving normally to the magnetic field, it will undergo a circular motion. So you can say this force will be equal to centripetal force, which is required to undergo in a circular path. So from here we will cancel out. R will come to be mv upon qb. Now everything is given in question. So solve it. Value of R will come to be 22.7 centimeters. Okay, then second part of the question says, is the formula you employ in A valid for calculating radius of the path of 20 mega electron volt electron beam? If not, in what way is it modified? Okay, so now energy of the beam is given to be 20 mega electron volt. Now you know the energy of electrons can be written as half mv square as well. Okay, so by putting E equal to 20 mega electron volts, calculate V from here. You know the mass of electron. So when you will calculate the velocity of electron, that will come to be 2 into 10 to the power 9 meter per second. Okay, now as you can clearly see, this velocity is greater than the velocity of light, which is 3 into 10 to the power 8. Okay, and you know as well that nothing or no particle can travel faster than the speed of light. So that means this formula will not be valid here because this velocity is not realistic. So therefore, instead of m, we have to use the formula of relativistic mass, which is given by m is equals to m naught upon under root 1 minus v square upon c square, where m naught is the rest mass, v is the velocity of the particle, and c is the velocity of light. And m here is called relativistic mass. So the formula, to modify the formula, instead of m, we will be using this formula in your B part to calculate radius. Okay. Okay, in question number 25, use the same formula that we did in the previous lectures. That is, your power is total energy upon time and n is number of your photons, and E is the energy due to one photon. So power will be equal to total energy upon time. Okay, next is question number 28. So the question number 28 says, a mercury lamp is a convenient source of studying frequency dependence of photoelectric emission, since it gives a number of spectral lines ranging from UV to the red end of the visible spectrum. In our experiment with rubidium photocell, the following lines from a mercury source were used. So you are given 5 values of wavelengths in this question, and the corresponding stopping potential is also given, that is V01, V02 and V03, like that. In first part you have to calculate the value of Planck's constant, and in the second part you have to estimate the threshold frequency and work function of this material. Okay, so to calculate anything, first of all you are given stopping potential and wavelength. So as you know, nu is C by lambda. So by the given values of wavelength, first of all calculate all the values of frequency. Okay, so you will get the values of nu1, nu2, nu3, nu4 and nu5 by using the formula nu is equals to C by lambda. Okay, after this step what you have to do, you will be plotting a graph between nu, that is all these nu, and this value of stopping potential that is given to you. Now from your theory lectures you clearly know the shape of the graph between stopping potential and frequency, because stopping potential is directly proportional to frequency, so you will be getting a straight line graph. Okay, so first of all calculate all the values of frequency, then plot a graph between stopping potential and nu. You will get a graph like this. Now can you tell me what this point will be? This will be nothing but threshold frequency, obviously. Okay, so from this graph you will be getting threshold frequency easily, and this point when you will plot the graph you will see it will be coming to be 5 into 10 to the power 14 hertz. So this will be your cutoff frequency or threshold, this will be your threshold frequency from this graph. Okay, now you know one more thing in this graph, when you will extend this line, this intercept is given by minus phi naught by E. This you have already studied in theory lectures. So now if I calculate the slope of this graph, so slope is y by x, y of this graph is minus phi naught by E and x is nu naught, right? So this will be slope of this graph. Now if you solve it, as you know phi naught is given by h nu naught, so when you will solve it, it will become h nu naught upon E v naught. So nu naught and nu naught will cancel out, so it will give you h by E. That means slope of the potential and frequency graph will give you the value of h by E. So now if I choose any two values to calculate slope, that is y2 minus y1, that is v03 minus v01 upon x2 minus x1, that is nu3 minus nu1, because I am choosing the 3 and 1. You can choose 4 and 1 as well. Okay, so now you know all these values. You know E. From here h will come to be 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. Okay, and to calculate work function, you know nu naught, so you can easily calculate phi naught, that will be h nu naught, that will come to be 2 electron volts. Okay, so this is how you have to perform this question number 28. Okay, so next is question number 30. It says light of intensity 10 to the power minus 5 watt per meter square falls on a sodium photocell of surface area 2 centimeter square. Assuming that the top 5 layers of sodium absorb the incident energy, estimate the time required for photoelectric emission in the wave picture of radiation. The work function of the metal is given by 2 electron volt, and you have to tell what is the implication of your answer. Effective atomic area is given to be 10 to the power minus 20 meters square. Okay, so intensity is given, area is given, number of layers is given, work function is given, and effective atomic area is also given. Okay, so first of all of you know that your sodium, that is Na, has one conduction electron. So first of all, as we have 5 layers, so we will be calculating total number of electrons in 5 layers. Okay, so to calculate number of electrons in all the 5 layers, we have to take area by using unitary method only. We have to take area of one layer upon effective atomic area into 5, because we have 5 layers, right? Now all these things are given in question. See, area of one layer is this and effective atomic area is this. So when you will solve it, the answer will come to be 10 to the power 17. That means the total number of electrons in the 5 sodium layers is 10 to the power 17. Okay, now we will be calculating one more thing, that is power, because as you know, intensity and area is given to you, and power can be defined as intensity into area. So intensity is 10 to the power minus 5 and area of one layer is 2 into 10 to the power minus 4. So again, when you will solve it, the answer will come to be 2 into 10 to the power minus 9 watt. So now we know the power of one layer and we know the total number of electrons in 5 layers. Okay, so now if you know the power, you can calculate energy per second per electron. That means energy due to one electron per second. Okay, so as you know, energy is nothing but power upon number of electrons, because see, we are calculating energy per second. So energy per second becomes nothing but power, and per electron means number of electrons. So you can easily see what we are calculating and what we are putting here. Okay, so that will become, okay, so this is power and this is total number of electrons. So it will come to be 2 into 10 to the power minus 26 watts. Okay, so now we will be calculating the time required for photoelectric emission. Okay, so now you know the energy required per electron for ejection is this much and total energy required or absorbed is this much. So the time taken will be given by energy required per electron for ejection upon energy absorbed per atom. Okay, so that will be 2 electron volt upon 2 into 10 to the power minus 26. That is this energy, right? So when you will solve it, it will come to be 1.6 into 10 to the power 7 seconds. So this means that, see, there is a very large time gap in emission of photoelectrons. But according to wave picture, there was no time gap between the incident of photons and emission of photoelectrons. So in this case, wave picture or wave theory cannot be used or it cannot be applied here. Okay. Okay, so next is question number 35. It says find the typical de Broglie wavelength associated with a helium atom in helium gas at room temperature of 27 degrees and 1 atmospheric pressure, and compare it with mean separation between two atoms under these conditions. Okay, so now you know if temperature is given, the de Broglie wavelength can be calculated by h upon under root 3m kBT. This you have done in your theory lectures. T is temperature, that is given. H you know already. Boltzmann constant you know. So here m will be mass of one helium atom. So to put m, we will be using this. Mass of one helium atom will be atomic weight, that is 4, upon Avogadro's number, that is Na, which is 6 into 10 to the power 23. So this mass will be in grams obviously. So from here now you can calculate lambda, that will come to be 0.73 into 10 to the power minus 10 meters. Okay, now you have to compare it with this mean separation between two atoms. So to calculate mean separation, as you know, PV is equals to N kBT. This you have studied in kinetic theory of gases in 11th class. So from here, if you calculate V by N, that will come to be kBT by P, right? Keep it as it is. Now the mean separation, we are taking that to be R. So if we write volume, that can be written as nR cube, obviously, because volume will be directly proportional to R cube for any atom, right? So volume can be written as nR cube. Now if you see from here, R will come to be V by N whole to the power 1 by 3. Now V by N is nothing but kBT by P. Temperature and pressure is given in question. Boltzmann constant, you know its value. So the mean separation will come to be 3.4 into 10 to the power minus, into 10 to the power, this will be minus 9 meters. Okay, now if you have to compare them, you can just divide lambda upon R, or you can divide R by lambda, and you can compare de Broglie wavelength and the mean separation between two atoms. Okay.